Tonight, join us as the best vocalist in the world, at least in my opinion, joins us. Hampton Callaway, tonight on Feedback. As I said, welcome to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Very special show tonight, at least in my opinion. I've been waiting for this for quite some time now. We're going to be speaking after the break with Hampton Callaway. She is a Broadway superstar now. She's actually performing in the musical Swing on Broadway, but most people actually know her from her career prior to that as a jazz and cabaret singer. I had a chance to speak with her earlier this week on the phone, and we're going to be playing that interview for you coming up. Also, we have some clips of her performing in Swing and performing in just some other venues that she's performed in. We had some scheduling conflicts actually getting this interview with Ann because, well, first of all, she was at the Barbra Streisand big extravaganza last week that you may have heard of. She has written a lot of songs for Barbra Streisand. In fact, the song that Barbra Streisand sang to James Brolin at their wedding, Hampton Callaway wrote. So here's a picture of her. This is her current CD. We'll show you this a little bit later and tell you where you can pick that up. But without any further ado, I'm not even going to spend time talking to you about the normal stuff I yap about in the beginning of the show because I want to devote as much time on this show as I possibly can to her. So we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to show you a clip from Ann performing in Swing, and then we're going to talk to her. It's next on Feedback.
My friend wants to know if that girl will go out with him. Pass it down.
Hey, Grandma, ask the girl on the end if she wants to go out with this loner.
The young man wants to know if the girl over there is a donor.
Somebody wants to know if you're an organ and tissue donor.
Yes.
Hey, me too.
Are you a donor? Make sure your family knows your decision so there's no question later.
This portion of the programming is being made possible through a grant from the Clarion Agway, located along Main Street in Clarion. The Clarion Agway offers a wide selection of lawn, garden, pet, and farm supplies. They also offer a large selection of power equipment. The Clarion Agway is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., and Saturdays from 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. That's the Clarion Agway, located at 1130 East Main Street in Clarion. Phone 226-9270.
Maybe you have what it takes to be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Feedback starts now. And I said, you know, it wouldn't a better name for a movie to come out now, and I think I'm going to make the movie or write the book. It would be a great book to have, and you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. And I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated. People I know so. Let's ask them about scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune into Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Happy was the girl and boy at the Savoy to think that syncopation outsmarted segregation. Blacks and whites were romping, stopped all night at the Savoy. What joy, perfect holiday. Savoy, when we were glad and sway. Savoy, always that way. Till dawn it went on and on. And the
And there you go. That was Hampton Callaway performing on Broadway in Swing at the St. James Theater just off of Broadway. If you want to go and see her, you can go to their website, swingonbroadway.com. But let's get to the real exciting part of the show here, at least exciting part for me. A few days ago, I had the chance to speak with Hampton Callaway by phone, and here is the first part of my interview with her. In my opinion, you're the most beautiful, most talented vocalist out there today.
Wow.
Okay? Yeah. Wow.
My goodness, thank you.
Look, I think it's true. Do you think it's true?
I think there's a lot of wonderful vocalists out there, so I can't say if I think it's true, but it's very nice of you to say that.
Well, we've been hyping you up on the show quite a bit, that we're having you on here. But I think the big thing that maybe a lot of people would know you from is Swing, which you're performing in on Broadway now. You really don't have a background in Broadway, at least from what I've read of. How did you get into doing Swing?
Well, actually, it was always my dream to do Broadway, and I was an acting major in college, and I did shows growing up, and when I came to New York, I wanted to do theater, and I was too tall and too strong and too mature seeming, so it wasn't until Swing came along that the perfect project had arrived, and they were aware of my concerts and my recordings, and they knew that they wanted to have a singer who was really steeped in the tradition of swing singing and jazz, and they were very pleased that I was also a songwriter because I could have creative input on the show. So it was a perfect fit, and I can't imagine a more wonderful project to make my debut with.
So how much actually creative have you done in the show? Now, I've seen the show. Actually, by luck, I had front row center seats over the summer.
Oh, wow.
And I was enthralled. I said, I've gone to shows, and sometimes I thought, oh, that was great. Well, the smile didn't leave my face.
Oh, that's great.
The whole time.
I feel the same way. It's such an active joy every single night. It's an amazing experience doing it. Creatively, it was fascinating. I did 2 years of workshops before we opened the show, and basically a lot of the things almost everything I sing, I had some part in either arranging, rewriting, writing, or, picking out. So when I got to my first rehearsal, the beginning of the whole project, I thought they would have my whole track mapped out. And the first question my director said was, all right, what would you like to do as your opening number? And what do you feel about the third song? I was not ready for that. However, what happened for all of the performers in the show is that we all got to put our own unique stamp on our characters and our personas. And so as a result, there's this tremendous multifaceted show with all of these unique imaginations that come out, and I get to really do my thing and all the things I love. I got to rewrite 3 standards, Bleep Blip, All of Me, and Stompin' at the Savoy. And I wrote a song for my co-star, Laura Benanti, her opening number, which is 2 and 4. So it was a lot of fun, and I got to arrange a lot, and I even got to do a little bit of choreography in All of Me, and it was just, it was an amazing experience.
I tell you, after watching the show, I was tired. How do you get through such a fast-paced show?
It just takes, you have to be in top shape, and you cannot overbook yourself. I have been overbooking myself, and I got sick 2 weeks ago, and I've been sick every single day. So it's a real balancing act. You have to be in shape. I lost 40 pounds, and I got I got in shape, and I worked out in the gym, and I took dance class, and I gave up drinking, and just did so many things. I became a vegetarian. Anything I could think of that would strengthen me to be ready for Broadway, because when people are paying $80 a ticket, in some cases, they deserve to have the most fantastic experience imaginable. So that means that I have to be my best every single night. And so that's, Swing is #1 in my life right now. And I'm even single as a result of it. So you can kind of see the devotion it takes.
You mentioned Bleep Blip, and that was actually the song that blew me away. We ran immediately out to the souvenir stand after the show so I could buy the CD, and I just, Bleep Blip was the first thing I put on, because I'm absolutely amazed by scat singing, what you can do.
Isn't it interesting? Yeah.
Where did you learn that skill? I know a lot of musically inclined people, and they really don't have that skill.
Well, it always came naturally to me. My mother is the singer in the family. She's a wonderful singer, pianist, and she's a voice teacher in New York. But my dad, who's a journalist, happened to love jazz and happened to sing scat. So when I was a little girl, walking around the house, I'd hear my dad scat singing just, for fun. And I picked it up very naturally. And then, of course, with albums like Ella Fitzgerald and Sarah Vaughan and Betty Carter, I heard some of the great jazz singers sing scat. And sometimes I would imitate Ella and, try to memorize some of her scat solos and How High the Moon or Mac the Knife. And It was always something, because I'm by nature a person who loves to improvise, and I'm very playful and mischievous. So scat just seemed like the perfect thing, because it's such a fun way to use your voice as an instrument. And I think one of the most powerful moments of scat in my life was when I was 18 years old, and I went to hear Betty Carter sing in Chicago with John Hicks at the piano, and she did literally a 45-minute scat solo, which had a beginning, middle, and end. It told a story. It was the first time I realized that scat could communicate ideas and situations and characters. And so that was kind of the inspiration. And also, of course, Jerry Zaks came up with the idea of the blind date and sort of a Nichols and May thing. So the blind date concept, along with the idea of expressing it in scat, became this tremendous creative challenge that Everett and I improvised, and I rewrote the lyrics to the song, and then we just kind of figured out what was going to happen on the date, and then we tried to figure out what would it sound like, what were the dynamics of that. So if there was video footage of our rehearsals and our improvs and our trying things out, it would be definitely some of the funniest things you've ever seen.
Well, I was just thinking this. We've been talking about scat. Maybe could you explain exactly what it is to our viewers?
Sure. Scat is the use of voice rhythmically to a harmonic structure, say a song, which has chords. And it's basically taking the voice and using nonsense syllables. Like some people like to do, like Frank Sinatra would say doobie doobie doo. But everybody seems to have their own scat syllables, like
I'm on like the floor now after listening to that. I'm amazed by that.
Well, after a cocktail or two, I could even get you to sing scat. So one of these days, I'll give you the pleasure of it.
I'll take you up on that.
Okay.
The first time I ever saw you actually was when you performed on the Boston Pops. I just happened to be flipping through the channels on PBS, and I've always been a Boston Pops fan. And I saw Swinging at the Pops. I thought, okay, well, I'll watch this. And then they introduced Hampton Callaway, and I am blown away. And especially, we're going to use it a little bit in the show tonight, the clip that we have of you singing with, like, you sound like the trumpet.
Oh, yeah.
I think that is absolutely amazing. I mean, do you have to do any special training to just do it? Did you practice, like, with a trumpet, or you just picked that up, too?
That was the thing I used to do as a little girl. And but I, of course, as a mature singer, I tried to perfect it, and I listened to a lot of instrumentalists. Miles Davis is probably one of my favorite artists of all time, and so I tried to make my voice sound like the trumpet, the saxophone, the guitar, clarinet, sometimes an electric guitar. It's just such a fun thing to do, and every now and then I surprise a professional trumpet player like Wynton Marsalis and whip out my vocal trumpet, and they always get a big kick out of that, because the voice really is capable of so much more than people realize.
So that's the part one of the Hampton Callaway interview. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to show you a little bit more of her performing, and we're going to talk more with her. Stay with us.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant. The Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant is located at 540 Main Street in Clarion and offers dining as well as a nightclub. The restaurant and nightclub are open 7 days a week for your convenience. Call Captain Loomis Hotel and Restaurant 226-8400.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by Fox's Pizza Den. Fox's Pizza Den is located on Old Route 66 in Clarion and offers all-day delivery. Phone 226-5555. That's 226-5555. Fox's Pizza Den is open 7 days a week for your convenience. Phone 226-5555.
This portion of the programming was made possible through a grant by the Carpet Barn. The Carpet Barn is located at 470 South 5th Avenue in Clarion. The Carpet Barn is open Monday through Saturday for all your carpet needs. So call the Carpet Barn, 226-7332.
Standing out from the crowd is easy when you stop in at Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall. Whether you're looking for junior trendy, girls, or fashion for women, they have it all with many different styles. With our newly expanded shoe and accessory department, you're surely to find that special touch to enhance that new outfit. And if you have a fashion question, our experts are here to help. That's Fashion Bug, located in the Clarion Mall, just off Exit 9 of Interstate 80. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 a.m. till 9 p.m. Sunday from noon till 5.
Another clip for you, Hampton Callaway, and her absolutely amazing vocal skills. Let's right now get back to more of the phone interview I had with her earlier in the week. You know, you say after a few cocktails, maybe you could get me to do it. Truthfully, in my other life, I teach with a high school marching band.
Okay.
And I teach the clarinet section, and so sometimes when I'm teaching them something, I'll just sing them the rhythm, and then they all make fun of me because I can play the clarinet, I just can't sing at all. And after I came back from watching Swing, I said, well, you know, you guys have to listen to the CD because we're all going to learn how to do this because I think it's amazing.
Well, that's great.
So,
well, you know, that's what I hope, and that's one of the things that delights me about Swing. As a lover of this music and a keeper of the flame of our country's great standards, I'm so happy that kids are falling in love with these songs and with this whole style of music because it is such joyful music. It's sophisticated. It expresses, you know, adult feelings, and it's just such an intelligent, wonderful art form that I think everybody should be at least exposed to. Whether they fall in love with it is up to them, but it is something that I think has timeless value.
Take us through your typical day, if that even exists. Guess it doesn't, right?
Well, I don't think there is a typical day, except that I tend to be a night bird. You know, after the show, I either go home and have a little tiny meal and check my emails and do some writing and reading and perhaps a little bit of a movie, or I see friends, catch someone's act. In the morning, I like to get up like 10:30 or so, have a cup of coffee, read the New York Times, do some writing. I always have to write. And during the day, I do any number of things. If I'm working on a show, I'm putting that together. If I have interviews, if I have appointments and things, you know, working on projects. I work a lot because it's not, for me, music isn't work, it's what I am. It's not even what I do, it's what I am. I think music, I hear music. I was sick and I couldn't do the show for a whole week, a week ago. And I literally, at various times of the day, would hear songs in my head and have to write them down. I wrote 12 songs in 1 week.
Oh, my gosh.
And you know, of course, all year round I was saying, boy, you know, I'm performing and interviewing so much, I don't have time to write. And so this, you know, this retreat of being sick, suddenly my mind was quiet and I heard all this music. So sometimes when that happens to me, I am a complete slave to my muse, and whatever, you know, I have to stop and cancel appointments, and, you know, because these songs are like gifts from God, and I have to write them down, and just when they arrive, they're ready, and I have to listen to them. So it's a fascinating process being an artist, because while you're in this world where everything is organized, and you have appointments and time is going on, there's so many things of the intuition process that are unpredictable and spontaneous, and you really have to find a balance between making room for that kind of work and then having, you know, a real organized life.
Right. Well, one of the things that a lot of people may know you for, but they might not know that they even know you for, is that You're the voice we hear when we watch The Nanny.
That's right, yeah.
How did that come about? How did you end up doing the theme song for The Nanny?
Well, it's funny. I'm always a late bloomer. Fran Drescher came to hear a show of mine at Don't Tell Mamas in 1986, quite a while ago, and she fell in love with my songwriting. I was just doing all my own songs, and she said, "Oh my God, you're so talented. I have projects I want you to write for." And so, you know, I wrote the various pilot themes for her, and none of these pilots ever went anywhere until The Nanny. And so she called me and said, you know, we have this project, and she told me all about it. I interviewed her, you know, got her to tell me about her character, and I got to see the little promo thing that they did. And I had about a week to write the perfect song, 42 seconds, tell the story how she became the nanny, which was very, very difficult. So I wrote 2 songs, and meanwhile I'm competing with the top Hollywood writers, thinking I don't have a chance. You know, $2,000 of debt later after doing the demo, what's going to happen? And I was just thrilled beyond belief that they chose my song. And then they were going to have the Manhattan Transfer sing the theme, and then they decided to go with me, and so I got to use my sister as a backup vocalist. And it's just been wonderful to have a little piece of Americana, you know, a little bit of pop culture. And so wherever I go, if people don't quite know who I am, that sort of is a little starting point.
Well, like I said, I first was exposed to you in the Boston Pop, so I immediately went out and started snatching up your CDs every time I saw them.
Oh, wow.
And the most recent one I just got, Easy Living, which was your current one out.
Right.
There was something in the CD jacket, and I think it summed up everything I was thinking but couldn't put into words. I don't have the exact quote, but it was saying about how we know when you're smiling. We can tell when you smile, we smile too, and we can tell your emotions. I just think that's amazing that you're able to emote and give us these same emotions as we're listening to your music, because I can't put on one of your CDs without feeling the emotion, like smiling or feeling sad, because that's the way your voice portrays it.
Well, that's really the power of music. If you are a true musician and if you're an open human being, then music, in one moment, if you're true to yourself as a listener or as a singer or an artist, in one moment you can be taken to a place, a memory, an emotion, and a part of yourself that can go so deep in your heart. And no matter what kind of day you've had, no matter what's on your mind, suddenly you are transported to this place and this world that this song gives you. And I think that's one of the amazing things about being a singer, is that in the space of 3 minutes that you can inhabit a whole experience, and it's a remarkable thing to fall in love every night in a song, and to lose love every night in a song, and it's a very powerful emotional experience. I mean, I am a very emotional person. I'm very intense. I almost feel like I'm too much in my own bones. And if I weren't a singer and a writer, I don't know how I'd exist, because I am filled with so much emotion. So for me, when I sing a song, I really surrender to the song, and whatever emotions come up in me, I just put my whole heart out there. And people, I think they really appreciate that vulnerability and that commitment to a song, because we all want to feel alive. We all want to feel all the emotions. And I think it's important as a singer to choose really beautiful, powerful, expressive songs, because what we go through in our daily lives of living and losing people and loving people and all the challenges of life, we deserve music that really expresses the depths of our soul, so that we can feel connected to each other and connected to ourselves, and be ready to take chances and be really ready to live life. And I think that's the gift that music gives us all.
Okay, my last question here for you is, tell us a little bit about the current CD, Easy Living. It seems to be a little different from other CDs you've put out. Yeah,
it's so funny. You never know. Usually I've been very fortunate. I've gotten so many wonderful reviews over the years, but I got one review for my Christmas album by Joel Siegel, a Washington writer, who said that why is it that this wonderful live performer turns into the Ice Princess when she records albums? And I thought that was such a cruel and exaggerated thing, but I thought, there must be a little bit of truth to it if I feel so hurt. And so I thought about it, and I thought, is there anything I can do to free myself up even more, to be more expressive in the studio? So I went to my producer and I asked her, can we just forego all the usual, contemporary ways of recording an album, and can I just stand in a room with no headphones on and no isolation booth and just sing with the musicians and just sing, and whatever it is, it has to be a take? And she said, that sounds wonderful. And that's exactly what we did. So I made an album like the old-fashioned albums where Ella or Frank Sinatra would stand in a room and sing with the band, and that has that live immediacy that other albums when you're worried, is my voice sounding good? Let's take this over again. All the punches that people do these days, you just don't have a real performance. So this album is special to me because these are complete performances. They're completely spontaneous. We're all listening to each other very closely, and there's an intimacy and an immediacy that I think is very fresh and exciting.
So there it is. That's the interview with Hampton Callaway. We want to thank her for being with us, agreeing to do the interview, and we were able to see those wonderful clips of her singing, so once again, thanks to her. We're going to take a break and be right back to wrap things up for today. Back after this.
Where's dinner?
Well, I thought you'd be home a couple of hours ago, and I put everything away, so I did.
What is this? Pizza? What? Pizza?
If you had just called me, I would have known what.
Dinner ready. It's a pizza.
I didn't know you'd be so late.
Let me ask you something. Is it too much to have dinner waiting when I go home?
Please don't be so loud.
Don't tell me what to do. You shut up.
I thought you'd be home.
I can get pizza at work.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'll do something better. I'll fix you something better. Let go of me!
Get in the kitchen!
No!
Well, it hurts! You want to see what hurts? That's what hurts! That's what hurts! Now get up and clean up this mess! Shut up!
Be quiet, I'll be quiet.
For information, call 1-800-END-ABUSE.
Back starts now. And I said, you know, it wouldn't a better name for a movie to come out now, and I think I'm going to make the movie or write the book. It would be a great book to have, and you can call to get her book. You can also find it online. Well, I have a feeling I'm going to be rather opinionated, people I know. So let's ask them about scheduling. Why is it that students have such a problem here with?
Tune in to Feedback with Mark Despotakis every Tuesday and Wednesday night beginning at 7:30 p.m.
We're totally out of time. No time to talk to you. We'll see you tomorrow.
It may not look like it, but you're watching the future of the Earth pass by. Because many of these products are made from materials you've been recycling. But to keep recycling working, you need to buy products that say, made from recycled materials. For all those next in line, it would mean the world to them.
And welcome back to Feedback. I'm Mark Despotakis. Once again, we'd like to thank Hampton Callaway for joining us on the phone today, taking some time out of her busy schedule to talk to us. And let me once again just go through some of the CDs she has out. First, you can pick up the cast recording of Swing, her performance on Broadway, at the St. James Theater on Broadway. If you'd like to go see that, you can get tickets, swingonbroadway.com. But also some of Ann's other CDs out, her newest CD, Easy Living, and there's so many other CDs she has out there. Another one I have here is After Hours, but she has a Christmas album out. She has one she's done with her sister, so there's a lot of albums out there. They might be hard to find in your record store, but go to, on the internet, I've ordered these through cdnow.com. Had no problems getting them, so that might be a good place to check that out. Once again, thank her for joining us. TV5 News is coming up next, and join us back here next week at 7:30 on Tuesday and Wednesday night. Have a good week. We'll see you.